Hey everyone, today is Saturday, the 8th of October. I'm actually going to talk a little bit about Star Trek Online today, so if you're not interested in that, you should probably tune away. This is about the duty officer system that's currently on Tribble. For those of you not necessarily in the know, Holodeck is the live server, Tribble is the test for the free-to-play right now, and Redshirt is the test for things yet to come. So, in order, you can view it as stuff we have right now, Holodeck, stuff we're going to get soon, Tribble, stuff we're not going to see for a bit, Redshirt. So, but anyways, I hit Rear Admiral yesterday. I'm flying around in a Sovereign. Thanks to the discount thing for purchasing ships, my Sovereign class only cost me 21,000 dilithium, which is good, considering they only gave me 10,000 to buy it with. And I fortunately had plenty left over from when I saved up my Commander chunk and my Captain chunk to buy the Galaxy class. So unfortunately, I only flew the Galaxy for about 10 levels. However, I'm very thrilled to be moving on to a higher class ship, I suppose you could call it. I don't know if I want to go on to the Exploration Cruiser Refit, which is basically a Galaxy class that allows you to saucer separate. It's really the only plus side. Yeah, you get an Ensign Engineering Officer, but we'll see how I feel. Anyways, I said I was going to talk about the duty officer system, so here we go. Last night when I went to log off, I logged off a little about 12:30 last night, and what happened was at 12, all the zones ticked over for duty officer missions. Now, here's how it worked. Every sector has its own list of duty officer missions. And your ship has, like, I don't know, I guess it might be a daily listing of duty officer missions, and then it changes from day to day. But every sector's duty missions changes every 4 hours. So obviously midnight last night was the 4 hour, hit. So I literally was looking at a list of missions when it changed over. So, and it obviously changes over. So if you're trying to assign someone at the final minute, it's not gonna, I don't know if it'll let you finish. I didn't have any missions that I could select to try. So I'm not entirely sure how that would work. Anyways, what I did last night before I went to bed is I went running through all the sectors I'd already been to, all the exploration zones I'd already been to, and started picking up as many missions as I could for my duty officers. I purchased a couple of duty officer packs via the C store. They gave us 1,200 test center points. So and it's 220 points per pack of, I guess it's maybe like half a dozen duty officers. They're not the best, but it gives me variety. So I really don't care about quality or rareness or any of that crap right now. I just want to try the system out. I want to see how versatile it is. I want to know how many officers I can send off at once. I'm paying attention to chances of success and of failure, things like that. So I was really fortunate in the fact that I picked up a few Ferengi traders. They have statistics like traitor, obviously, but they're also unscrupulous. So you can send these guys on missions that require you to barter. So it's like a 30-minute mission, exchange astrometric probes for energy credits. And if you have X number of probes in your inventory, you can get 7,500 credits. I think the 7,500 needs to fluctuate, but I did send out one of my Ferengi traders on a mission to exchange 2,500 credits for a number of provisions, and he came back with something like 37 provisions. So it was like, ka-ching! But provisions, if you purchase them, are like 100 credits a pop, so I think I made a profit. I'm not entirely sure. So that would be 3,700 credits that I got for 2,500. Okay, that works for me. So anyways, I queued up a whole bunch of these 4, 8, 1 hour missions before I went to bed. I woke up this morning, had a long list of things to check. So I, knocked those out before I went and got my hair cut. I'm really pleased with the duty officer system. I don't understand the point of the request duty officers page on the duty officer screen, because at the top you have uh, for lack of a better term, because I cannot for the life of me remember all the headers. I think it's like roster, assignments, sick bay, and then request duty officers. And the request duty officer tab has like nothing except like a C-store value and a listing of the categories of duty officers that you can have: tactical, security, science, medical, that sort of stuff. In sick bay, I have a couple of people who came back from a failed mission yesterday. I didn't realize they were going to fail it until they came back. And you don't get a failure mission message. You just all of a sudden have bridge officers in sick bay, and you don't get any rewards. It says completed, and nothing happens essentially, except duty officers visit sick bay for 20 hours or something. I do agree with one of the threads on the forum that says if you have medical personnel on your ship, like a nurse or a doctor or an emergency medical hologram, that you can do a mission if you have people in sick bay that allows you to heal them faster. That would be an amazingly cool mission. It would allow you to get some medical experience out of it. I don't even necessarily care if it gives me skill points or bridge officer points. I just really want the commendation experience. Commendation experience is what they've done with the diplomatic system. So diplomacy is still there, and it still has the same scale of experience and everything. It's the easiest one to get out of all of them. But there's diplomacy, there's colonial, trade, military, exploration, espionage, all kinds of these commendation experience. And as you go through the tiers, there's 4 tiers per commendation. As you go through them, when you achieve the next one, you get a duty officer, a special duty officer that you, and if you mess it up or something, you can go to Starfleet Academy and there's a dude there in the office. But you can get certain cool, new, uncommon, or rare even duty officers that do really cool things for you. So when I achieved the first rank of diplomacy, I picked up an Orion duty officer who, because I had noted that a lot of missions had a success or / critical success or failure or disaster rating, that if they were seductive, it would adjust that a bit. So I went with an Orion because obviously an Orion female is seductive. She's also a warp theory specialist, I think. So I kind of lucked out there. I think she's currently in sick bay. She'll be in sick bay another, 8 hours or something. Also, I'm hip with the idea of an iPhone / Android market app that allows you to monitor your duty officers. That is cool. I think that is awesome. I can understand just accepting, cleaning out missions that are done and recycling them out, I guess, for ship missions, but on a sector-by-sector basis, I'm not entirely sure. If they allow you to relocate your ship to different sectors or even the explore zones through this thing, that would be awesome too. I'd buy that for $1, maybe $5. That'd be cool. Let's see, what else? Okay, every duty officer has a certain number of traits. Like, if they're... In this example, I'm going to use a medical person. So, say you have a person, he falls under the medical category. Well, automatically that makes him medical. So you can put them into anything that requires a medical officer, okay? Then they have other traits, like the person's job is a nurse, or a doctor, or an emergency medical hologram specialist, or what have you. And those in specific job things can alter the outcome of a mission, and it'll say in green or in red or what have you how some of these specific traits factor in. Like, for example, I do have a medical officer. It is a nurse, and his special ability is if you have him equipped. I'll get into that later. So you send him along on a duty officer mission that requires a medical officer. And say it says a nurse increases the chances of critical success, a nurse increases the chances of success. Well, that's awesome. So it just bumps you can watch the success and critical success values bump up while the disaster and failure rates go down. So that's great. Now, they also have personality traits based on their species. Well, they have racial traits and they have personality traits. So a human, I think this guy's a human, is a founder of the Federation, and some quests require a founder of the Federation type species. So Andorian, Tellarite, Vulcan, or human. And so that'll show up. If the person is unscrupulous, honorable, aggressive, congenial, unruly, all sorts of these other traits that are specific to that person. Those show up in red, and they can be in success or failure or what have you, all over the place. So there are some missions like emotional is important. And so if you send an Andorians are frequently emotional, you can send an Andorian along on a particular mission where emotions help the end result. And so it's quite fascinating to mix and match all these officers. I'm sending security officers, Andorian security officers, along with logical science officers on special duty missions together. It's really odd the pairings I'm coming up with. In fact, I think I actually sent a bartender to go do a trading mission for me once. Yeah. But I'm having a ton of fun with the duty officer system. I think it still needs a little bit of tweaking because there's a few glitches here and there. And one last thing before I go. They've added a notification light / sound whenever you get an in-game mail. So like, you sold something on the exchange, what have you, or someone sending you a message via the in-game email. That's all well and good. The little box in the upper right-hand corner next to the mini-map will glow green, and you hear this little that sort of thing. And the problem is, my mailbox is empty, and I still get that every few seconds. Like, I'll go open my mailbox, it'll clear the green light, I close the mailbox, and then a few seconds later, like maybe a minute, 30 seconds, happens again. I open my mailbox, no mail. So I think it's glitched, and I hope they take care of that soon because it's getting kind of irritating. Usually, though, I just check it once an hour tops, just because it doesn't matter. Anyways, until next time.